In 2025, 58% of new construction homes gave concessions. On the flip side, about 26% of resale homes gave buyer concessions. But pricing alone shouldn't be the only factor that you take into consideration when making this decision. Generally, the biggest hidden cost between these two is going to be your deferred maintenance. Should you buy a new construction home or a resale home in 2026? Let's dive into a couple of factors that might help you make that decision a little bit easier for yourselves. One of the first things you may notice in the Sarasota area is that the median price for a new construction home is about $520,000. A resale home in the Sarasota area, the median price is about $460,000. But pricing alone shouldn't be the only factor that you take into consideration when making this decision. Let's start with concessions. In 2025, 58% of new construction homes gave concessions. The average concession of a new construction home was $15,000 back to the buyer. On the flip side, about 26% of resale homes gave buyer concessions, with a median concession at about $8,000. That's a significant difference when looking at concessions alone. So let's take a look at what type of concessions might be available to you. Quite often, builders will offer mortgage buydowns. And so they'll offer this in two ways. They'll offer this in a 2-1 mortgage buydown, which is where you have 2% off your interest rate for the first year, 1% off for the second year, and by the third year, you'd be back to your normal mortgage rate. The second way is they could offer permanent buydowns, which is where they would offer that concession towards a buydown of your interest rate for the life of the loan. Another way is they can offer the concession towards your closing costs, so that you don't have to bring as much money to closing, if any at all, depending on the amount of the concession. Sometimes builders will offer concessions towards upgrades or other options within the home, such as flooring, countertops, etc. These same kinds of concessions are available also on the resale side. So a lot of times sellers will offer concessions towards your closing costs when you're purchasing a resale home. When we're talking about concessions, specifically with new construction concessions, if 58% of people received concessions, that means there's a large number of people that didn't receive any concessions in regards to purchasing a new build home. So what happens is a lot of times people will want to go in and take a look at one of the models. So they'll go into the builder's office unrepresented without a buyer's agent. And when they do so, the listing agent there, the builder's agent, asks them to sign in a sheet. And when they sign in the sheet, they put their information on it. They're also signing away the ability to have the builder to now recognize you as being represented. And so that you're going in there without representation, the builder is also going to refuse to pay your buyer's agent fees. So essentially, you're now taking on the onus of paying for your buyer's agent on your own, or dealing specifically and straight with the builder's agent, who represents the builder and not you. So they're never going to look out for you. And so when we have over 40% of people not receiving concessions, quite often it's because they went in unrepresented and they just don't know what options are there for them to look at. My pro tip to you is reach out to your buyer's agent. They'll be more than happy to tour these model homes with you. But if you go solo and you go unrepresented, you're going to be at the mercy of the builder's agent. The next thing we need to look at when we're deciding on a new construction home or a resale home is what kind of hidden costs might there be. And generally, the biggest hidden cost between these two is going to be your deferred maintenance. The median resale age of a home is 33 years, 1993. So when you're looking at a 30-plus-year-old home, you have some real concerns in certain areas of the home that need to be inspected. Your HVAC system, your roof, your electrical, and your plumbing. Those all need to be looked at by a licensed home inspector to ensure that they're still in good working order. Some of these costs can have some real sticker shock associated with them. An HVAC system could be $10,000 to $15,000. A roof can be $15,000 to $20,000. Electrical can be several $1,000s. And same thing if you have plumbing issues, another several $1,000s. These need to be taken into consideration when you're looking at new construction versus resale. Am I going to have a lot of costs once I get into the property to maintain it and get it back up into running order? Between HVAC and a roof, you could be looking at $15,000 to $30,000 or more just in costs that you're not necessarily going to recoup. Because the other thing a lot of people forget is when you're looking at return on your investment on what you put into something, you're not going to get dollar for dollar. And there's unfortunately a lot of people out there that believe that because they put $15,000 into a new HVAC system, that when they sell the property, they're going to get $15,000 back. And that's just not the case. In a lot of cases, you're looking at about 60 to 65% ROI. Now, each market is going to be different, and not all upgrades are created equal. So it depends on what you need to change and what you need to upgrade on what your return is going to be on that. But it's something to take into account when you're looking at this stuff, that it's not a dollar for a dollar return. So that needs to be taken into account again on the resale side specifically, because the new construction side, you're walking in and everything's already brand new. So in 2022, a law had passed that states any roof that's under 15 years will not have a problem being insured on age alone. 15 years and above, an insurance company can require you to have a home inspection or an inspection of the roof to ensure that it still has another 5 years of life left in that particular roof in order to insure it. And the older the roof gets, the less likely that you're going to have 5 extra years on that roof and you're going to need to replace it. Otherwise, you might have issues getting insurance. 77% of resale homes that had sold in 2025 were over 20 years. So that means it's even more important to make sure that you're getting proper home inspections and that your agent and yourself are aware of how old the roof is and when the last time it was either changed or maintained, and how much life is left on that roof before you close on that home. So new construction will give you the advantage right out of the gates in regards to your roof age. Insurance quotes will be lower, and you won't have to worry about the possibility of insurance issues with your roof since it'll be brand new. You're not going to have any surprises from your insurance companies in regards to replacements and cancellations. So before you go out and decide, that's it, I'm only buying a new construction home based on my concessions, roof age, maintenance, etc., there are other factors that you may want to take into consideration when looking at resale homes. Some of those include established neighborhoods, architectural design. Some of them are different in the older neighborhoods. Immediate occupancy. You don't have to wait for a builder to finish the home if it's not complete yet. Renovations, right? If you can do renovations on your own, that might be a bonus for you if you know what you're doing with those types of things. So there are some bonuses to going into resale homes with a bit of an open mind, and depending on what you're looking for. The most important part of purchasing a resale home is making sure that you get your home inspection done and you get your insurance quotes during your due diligence phase. This will allow you to know if there are any major issues with the aspects of the home that we had discussed earlier, the roof, HVAC, plumbing, electrical, and make sure that you understand all of the costs with your insurance. It's also important that you budget for some deferred maintenance. And even though everything comes back okay with the inspection, you got your insurance quotes, it's still important that when you're moving in, you have some money set aside for deferred maintenance that's going to pop up. Anytime you buy a home, especially a resale home, there's always going to be unexpected costs. So it's better to have money set aside for that and not be blindsided by an unexpected cost. Assume that you're buying a resale home, a home with a median average age of about 30 plus years, and there's going to be some deferred maintenance when you move in that you weren't aware of that needs to be fixed. So just remember, it's not all about granite countertops and moldings. If you're looking at new construction homes, you're potentially looking at larger concessions, greater insurability, no capital expenditures for the first few years, and 5 to 10 years of predictable maintenance in most cases. With resale homes, you're looking at a little bit more work up front in due diligence, but some greater flexibility in your location, your neighborhoods, your architectural style, and even your renovations and design style that fits your particular need. If you're thinking about buying a new construction or a resale home in the Southwest Florida market, I'm here to help. And if you're interested in more market intelligence, subscribe below.